sundry. Liberation greetings to all and sundry, my dear people of Ambazonia, my fellow brave warriors of our liberation movement. Accept liberation greetings from me, Comrade John Akuro. This day is Monday, October 9, 2023. I want to extend special salutes to everybody on ground zero because I know, at this time it's already night there, and you all again today did observe our traditional Monday ghost downs, and I want to congratulate all of us for this continuous show of resilience. And I want to say these efforts will never, never, ever go in vain because whether the agents of La République du Cameroon, whether the blacklegs who are continually trying one way or the other to halt our move towards freedom, like it or not, we as a people are determined to get there. And so therefore, I will always use the least opportunity I have to congratulate and praise each and every one of us for every little thing we are doing in our determined march towards freedom. Last night, we were paying last respects to a father, a friend, a mentor, Mr. Albert Zama, who himself too stood so strong for this our quest for change. And he is one of those who braved it even to want to get back on ground zero and commune with the people, but was arrested at the airport in Douala and shipped back to the United States of America because fortunately for him, he was a US citizen. Otherwise, the worst would have happened. So Mr. Zama Albert bowed out, and the last night we were paying him last respects at the Vikings Center here in Maryland. We all who wish, Mr. Albert Zama God's continuous, blessings as he journeys beyond, and that God will find him a good place in his bosom. And we know that Comrade Zama is going to meet the likes of Pamolanjo Litumbe, the likes of Justice Ebon, and all the rest who have departed. And trust me, we will continue to fight until we get what we want. My people of Ambazonia, I want to make a quick veer first at the home of our noisy neighbors, where because of their poor policies, because of the practice of policies that have no connection to the cause for humanity, they continue to bring pain on their people and sometimes even on our own people who are still hanging in their land. Take a look at this. This is what happened in Bankomo. You look at this area. Bankomo is in the heart of Yaoundé, not very far away from the Montfebe Hotel. The Montfebe Hotel in Yaoundé, and that's not so far away from the Quartier du Golf, where you have a lot of the rich people and those who have embezzled a lot of money, from resources tapped from the southern Cameroons hanging around there. Not far away from the home of Minister Gregoire Owona, who was also perched on the hills there, and where the Apostolic Nuncio, his office, is located. There's a monastery up there, all the way up there in Montfebe. So, all of them are quite riverine to Bankomo, to the area where this disaster happened. And of course, it happened because of a kind of systemic neglect, because there was a man-made lake in this particular area, constructed over 40 to 45 years ago. And it was created by the colonial administration, and then its remnants did enjoy. That's what I said about 45 years ago. Its remnants did enjoy it. So it's over 60 years even. And so it was naturally abandoned, like every other good thing that has been abandoned in La République du Cameroon since Mr. Paul Biya took over. And so, because of that abandonment, the people had to find other ways to try to accommodate and protect themselves by building by poorly constructing an embankment, which unfortunately gave way and has claimed a lot of lives. They're talking about 30. There are still a lot of families still unable to account for their loved ones that go in the hundreds. And so we know exactly what happened there with time. Look, folks, this is the kind of thing that we are saying that, I mean, results from a system where people, the interest of the people, is not at the center of government policies. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that natural disasters cannot occur, but an avoidable one occurring is criminal. Because what occurred now in Bankomo was something that was totally avoidable. And you have a lot of places where these things will happen because of, first of all, poor town planning. There's even no town planning existing in La République du Cameroon, although there's a ministry for it. And you will notice we have faced some of these kind of things in our, in our towns and cities, still because of poor urban planning that does not provide a good drainage system. Floods happen everywhere in the world in places where it is totally unavoidable. I mean, in other parts of the world, we see that in the United States, we see that in other Western countries, but in those areas, it's completely unavoidable. And they've done everything humanly possible to ensure that even when they occur, the loss in terms of human lives will be very minimal. But in the case of La République du Cameroon, and then with their extension on our territory, a lot of 98% of these things, these floods and all not, are avoidable if there was a careful planning of the towns and cities. But unfortunately, construction is so haphazard. Sometimes in some places, you even have to move through other people's living room to get to your own house. This is not an exaggeration. If you've lived in Douala before, you understand what I'm talking about. So that was just a passage through the home of our noisy neighbor. I'll actually come back to this particular event at the end of this this broadcast. So don't go away, because there's something very important and interesting at the end of this broadcast, still related to this incident in Bankomo. I am leaving it at the end deliberately because, of course, you need to know it fits with what we'll be discussing at that time. That said, my people, we'll still stay with our noisy neighbors for a little bit, and I'd like you to say this. These are soldiers of the bee. La République Cameroon's so-called elite force, what they call the Bataillon d'Intervention Rapide. That is elitist, and it's a force where the soldiers are paid astronomical sums of money monthly as salaries, with all kinds of allowances added to it. This is not an exaggeration. I mean, with all kinds of allowances possible. Somebody in the B who is not yet even a sergeant chef earns far better than a category A2 teacher who has gone to school for several years and gone at least to master's level in order to earn category A2. Those ones, I'm not sure there's anyone that's on even 350,000, but a sergeant in the B will be over 400 or something thousand a month. That did not stop these folks from being armed robbers, from being thieves. This pair that you see on the screen here, I mean, were caught in a home in Fumban, in the west region of La République du Cameroon, burgling, thieves. They went to rob a home in military uniform, as you see. Now, one of them there has been reported to be a certain Atiason Beltos, who is supposed to be from Le Bialem and is actually supposed to be at the DDR. But you see what happened? He has also been given B uniform, and then he will dress up, and then he's now being used. He's become an armed robber along with the B. But this is someone to whom it was promised that if you abandon the quest, the fight for independence, for the freedom of the people of the Southern Cameroons, and go to the DDR center, you will be given a good job. You will be given all kinds of advantages. You'll be reinserted in the community, in the normal community as a pro. This is how they end up. Because of want, this is how he ends up. And it is this lack of morality, lack of good training that La République du Cameroon has been seeking to impose on our people, to contaminate our people with. Over the years, they've succeeded in derailing quite some minds, but we are stopping them because we are a noble set of people, full of love, full of dedication to the cause of mankind, full of the desire and anxiety to develop our communities the way we want and to make sure that we live a better life. A good lot of us, in our millions, are people who have the self-reliant spirit. But unfortunately, the incursion of La République du Cameroon in our land has retarded our development so badly that it's becoming so complicated or so difficult for people to get up or even try to do anything with their own resources to change their living conditions. Because to do even anything on roads that are yours, you have to obtain authorization from La République du Cameroon's colonial administration on the ground. They will channel it to Yaoundé. At some point, you may even have to wait for their head of state, Mr. Paul Biya, to decide, to accept that you people here, you have a lot of money, you can go ahead and tie even your own road. This is exactly what we don't want. This is exactly what we want to depart from there. This is exactly why I keep saying that we are so unevenly yoked with La République du Cameroon. Our determination towards kicking them out of our land must remain very, very, very strong. And so, folks, I will not go so far out of La République du Cameroon, but I'll make a stop over in Canada, where we all know that the conference, the Southern Cameroon People's Conference, that all important conference that was taking place in Toronto, of course, ended yesterday. And so, in my next broadcast, I'll be coming up with the resolutions that we arrived at. I mean, those that need to make public, and we'll be having information sessions all over the place to talk with the people on the mechanisms that were put in place to implement these resolutions and make sure that we see a complete change in the way we prosecute our liberation movement. But one of the guests at that conference was Mr. Tibor Nagy, the former U.S. Undersecretary at the Department of State in charge of the Bureau of African Affairs. Mr. Tibor Nagy, and you see what he says in this tweet, honored to speak at Toronto Southern Cameroon's, in bracket, Ambazonians conference. My main points: 3 obstacles to progress. 1, La République, of course. La République has remained the obstacle to our progress because we need to kick them out of our land. The knee of La République du Cameroon is on our neck and is making it impossible for us to breathe. We can't breathe. So we need to remove that knee. That means sending La République du Cameroon out of our territory. I agree with you on that, Mr. Tibor Nagy. Then the next thing he says, belief that UN Resolution 1608 will be a solution. There's something about this UN Resolution 1608 that's talking about here. Because Resolution 1608 outrightly clarifies that we are 2 different people, that the United States General Assembly voted for the independence of the Southern Cameroons, and that the Southern Cameroons is an entity because we were just like a trust territory like La République du Cameroon, and therefore La République du Cameroon cannot get up from somewhere and start claiming that we are part of their territory. But why is he telling us that this is an obstacle? That the belief that UN Resolution 1608 will be a solution. He is simply telling us that those who run the international club, called United Nations, are the same people who are our problem. Those who are supposed to evoke and implement the dictates of Resolution 1608 are the same ones benefiting from La République du Cameroon's colonial presence on our land. So he is telling us, if you spend your whole life only evoking this Resolution 1608, mentioning it here and there, thinking it will touch somebody's conscience, you don't get freedom by appealing to the moral conscience of the same people who are oppressing you. So he's drawing our attention to the very important fact that it is action. We have to put La République du Cameroon and all its international partners and the international community before a de facto situation, before a fait accompli, which means we have to push La République du Cameroon to the point where they too begin to choke. They cannot breathe. So they will be the ones to run to these instances to say, please, let's look at the situation of this, of this war between us and the southern Cameroons. So you say, we cannot rely on this, we need to rely on action. And then last one, it says disunity of the community. Of course, if we remain disunited, we will not be able to pull our forces together so that we give La République du Cameroon the nose bleeding that will make La République du Cameroon start running helter-skelter around the world seeking dialogue. Because resolution 1608 will make sense when we finally sit on a negotiation table and they begin to ask La République du Cameroon, how do you justify your claim over the territory of the southern Cameroons? And the only way to get to that is to choke La République du Cameroon to the point where they begin to see dialogue, that's negotiations, as unavoidable. This is clear. And so this is the message that was delivered to us in Toronto. This is a message we worked on, we digested, and the resolutions arrived at will be a clear reflection of our new understanding of exactly what we need to do to make sure we get La République du Cameroon out of our territory, secure our independence, and secure the future of millions of Ambazonians, both born and those that are yet to be born. So this is very important. As I promised, in my next broadcast, I will bring up the resolutions here, and we will have an elaborate discussion on those resolutions. So we'll get out of that. And if you're just joining this broadcast, please share the link as much as possible to those who are still to come on board. And like I said before, don't forget that La République du Cameroon continues to do everything to discredit this particular platform, to do everything to make sure even those that are subscribed don't receive the signal when I'm on a live broadcast, when I'm on a show, so that you are part of these sessions where we together educate ourselves, motivate ourselves, and ensure that we continue to align with the objectives of this liberation movement. So please share the link as much as you can, and if you have questions, don't forget, put the questions in the comment section. And so I want to go back to La République du Cameroon because this also concerns us. Take a look at this. If the citizens of La République du Cameroon respected their own word, then the teachers for secondary and primary education in the entire country should be on strike right now. Because according to this release that you find here, the teachers were saying that they were going to go on strike beginning today, Monday, October 9, right up to Friday, October 13. And that it is in prelude of a more paralyzing strike action that they want to carry out to force the government of La République du Cameroon to pay their dues. Because upon calculation, the government of La République du Cameroon owes teachers a total sum of 181 billion CFA francs. 181 billion CFA francs. And the teachers have been coming out and threatening strike, and sometimes having short-lived strikes year in, year out. Nothing has ever happened. And now that they've got up, they're determined, they are facing the ire of the government of La République du Cameroon. You see, this is exactly why I always say, when you find people rise up to protest against bad, poor conditions, something that involves you too, you sit in your corner because you tell yourself that, well, they are protesting there, it is their business, it concerns them there. Look, those teachers mocked and laughed at our lawyers when they were being robbed in the mud in Boya, kicked left and right, laughed at our teachers gathered under Katu, Piatu, and others when they decided to go on an indefinite strike to force the government of La République du Cameroon to stop meddling and watering down our education system or francophonizing it. It's even already worthless and making it even more useless. They laughed. But on the 5th of October, on Thursday, October 5, the International Day of the Teacher, we saw how La République du Cameroon treated their teachers who carried billboards and other placards just to indicate that they wanted the government to pay attention to their concerns. They touched them well, watered them, beat some. They detained a good lot of them, and that is not all. Even as the strike action is going on, the government of La République du Cameroon is doing to them the only thing that they know how to do when faced with such circumstances: repression, high hand, torture, and everything. In the Adamawa province of La République du Cameroon, they have even gone further, implementing something at Tangaponji calls, understand it calls novel rouleau compressor. I mean, he calls something that they call the name. Oh, I've forgotten. That is, they have to squeeze, to compress, torture the people until they get totally dehumanized to the point where they will not even be able to recognize themselves, let alone thinking that they should claim rights. And that's why one of their approaches is send the leaders, all the leaders of the strike action of the group known as OTS, on punitive transfers. This is how it is unfolding in the Adamawa region of la République du Cameroun. Let's watch.
Dans la région de l'Adamawa, c'est un véritable bras de fer entre les enseignants et le gouverneur de la région suite à la décision de Kildadi Bokar affectant 27 enseignants. Des voix se sont élevées au sein du mouvement OTS. Selon les enseignants grévistes, cette décision est une mesure de répression, mais surtout, disent-ils, une guerre ouverte entre eux et le gouverneur de la région de l'Adamawa. La correspondance de Amadou Bello.
Ce lundi 2 octobre, le gouverneur de la région de l'Adamawa a pris la décision de muter 27 enseignants de la région. Selon la décision de Kildadi Tagueke Boukar, Philo Jean-Pierre quitte le lycée bilingue de Ngaoundéré pour le CS bilingue de Yimbere Plaine, dans le département du Mayo-Bagno. Membre du mouvement OTS, il estime que sa mutation est une sanction.
Il ne revient pas au gouverneur de muter les enseignants dans ce contexte où tout le pays est au courant de ce qui se passe. Il est hors de question que d'une part on nous dise que nous avons raison et d'autre part qu'on vienne nous mater. Nous n'irons nulle part jusqu'à preuve de contraire.
Comme lui, Moye Kea François, enseignant d'SVT, est muté au lycée de Hore Taram Fulbe, une localité située à plus de 400 km de Ngaoundéré.
Le gouverneur ne peut pas faire ce que les enseignants veulent.
Ce matin, il n'y a pas eu cours dans plusieurs établissements de la région. À l'unanimité, les enseignants de la région apportent leur soutien aux collègues affectés par des messages et des banderoles.
C'est trop.
Depuis l'annonce de cette décision, des voix s'élèvent un peu partout dans la région, comme ici à Tibati.
Soit on nous affecte nous tous en brousse, soit on annule cette décision du gouverneur. Non à l'injustice. OTS va continuer. OTS est un mouvement national.
Selon les grévistes, le mouvement de protestation est à durée indéterminée.
Continuer avec le mouvement jusqu'à ce que notre solution, notre problème soit réglé. Donc, si on n'annule pas l'affectation, il n'y en aura jamais cours ici au lycée bilingue jusqu'à nouvel ordre.
Dans plusieurs établissements secondaires de la région de l'Adamawa, les cours sont paralysés.
So, my people, I know some of you, or some of us in the audience don't understand French. That's why I'll do a little paraphrase. So you see, in this report, we're learning that the governor of the Adamawa region of La République du Cameroon has proceeded with punitive transfers of all the teachers who were leaders of the teachers' trade unions and grouped under the name OTS, Honor Trust Refer. And they believe that by that measure, by sending them on those punitive transfers, they will cause all the others to realize that there was they too could face the sledgehammer and they will abandon the strike action. According to them, that's an approach of cutting the head so that you will set confusion. It's the same approach that I've been trying to use in Ambazonia. That is why you see they had a penchant for, first of all, running after Comrades Fontaine and Dr. and Barrister Felix Nkongo Agbobala, I mean, in early 2017, thinking that they were going to put an end to the operations of the consortium. Of course, it did not work. They never learned. It's the same thing they did again in 2018 when, in collaboration with the government of Nigeria and the French government of Emmanuel Macron, they captured Sisiku Ayub Tabe and all the members of his cabinet. In their minds, they believed that by capturing all of those people, they were going to cut the head of our liberation movement. There will be massive confusion. We will lose traction, and then the whole thing will crash and come to an end. It has not worked. It never worked. It still doesn't teach them a lesson. It's the same thing they have been doing right up to this moment, struggling to bribe some in our midst. When they happen to see that you're beginning to have a voice, they run after you with the suitcase, and they never address issues. They know the root causes of all the issues that come before them. They never address problems. That is why with the teachers strike now in the Republic du Cameroon, all they have been struggling to do is run after the ringleaders, throw some in jail, dish out to others punitive transfers, torture others, because they believe that the only thing they need to do at every standpoint is impose their will on the people. So in this report, therefore, for the first time, I'm amazed to see citizens of La République du Cameroun say, in solidarity with those teachers who have been sent on punitive transfers, none of us will teach until they all are brought back, until those transfers are cancelled, because the strike action is justified. Now, on the one hand, you see we have a point. We really have a reason to strike. And on the other hand, you are dishing out punitive sanctions on those who are leading us. That is who La République du Cameroun has been, folks. They will never change. And this is not how we are. This is not who we are. This is not the way we want to run our communities. We believe in the respect of human rights. We believe in a society where the people are free to associate, free to express their discontent by protesting peacefully, to raise awareness to their sufferings and their difficulties. That is not who we are. And that's why I continually use this platform to tell our people, La République du Cameroun and us, we have no meeting point. You are part of this liberation movement. We face issues within this liberation movement. Let's join hands, clarify those issues, and continue to prosecute this revolution, this liberation movement until we get La République du Cameroun out of our territory. Because you see what they are serving their citizens. Imagine if it were our people who would be counting the deaths. What happened on October 5 in La République du Cameroon? Where teachers were striking and they many used water cannons, many used batons and all whatnot. If it were happening in any of the cities of southern Cameroon, you'd be counting deaths in tens. Deaths, I mean in tens. So, my people, listen, our determination, our focus on what we have been fighting for several years should remain ingrained in us. It should become part of our other identity. Because what we are fighting against is real. It's real. We are fighting for the very soul of our nation, for the very soul of our humanity, to restore the dignity of our people and to restore the prosperity of our land. And this is very fundamental. It is something we must recognize that is worth dying for. And so forth. That was that with the teachers. I'm doing this quick panorama so we see exactly how the place that took us to where we are now has never changed as far as La République du Cameroun is concerned. So we continue to see on a daily basis what Armageddon will be awaiting us if we ever fail in this liberation movement and find ourselves again completely yoked with La République du Cameroun. Usually when I say this, I see a good lot of you rush quickly to the comment section to type, God forbid. God will only forbid if we work. God will only forbid if we come to that general consciousness that no one owns this liberation movement, that it is the people's collective fight for freedom, and that our roles, each and every one of us, will be very important. God will only forbid when you desist from playing the role of a blackleg, because you think that you are benefiting because they give 5,000 today, 10,000 tomorrow. At the end of the day, you pass through like them. Have you heard any remorse in the camp of La République du Cameroon with respect to those two compatriots who lost their lives in Batibo? Yet, they were cooperating with them. They were giving them information, showing them the location of our self-defense volunteers to go after them. I've seen a lot of fabrication going on social media or some kind of vain attacks, but that is what it was. Now they are gone. Will La République du Cameroon ever remember that there were any people existing like those? They will not. Will La République du Cameroon ever recall that those two men had families, wives and children, brothers and sisters who were looking up to them, who need some attention? Nada. It will never exist. They definitely will not even pass around their funerals. On the contrary, they will try to use that to continue to push their quest to keep us under slavery and servitude for life. This is what we should say God forbid to. And so I'm going back to La République du Cameroon. I want to show our people that a people cannot take care of themselves, cannot take care of you, they cannot take care of me. The Bible says, if you take care of someone else's vineyard so well, you will get your own vineyard. True. But if you can't take care of your own vineyard, why should you even go on to another person's own? Like people in Cameroon can even take care of their own land. They can't develop themselves. They can't help themselves. Yet, some people give us the impression that they think that La République du Cameroon can be a help to us. No. They are an obstruction. They are an obstacle. They are a cancer in our community. We need them out. So let's go again and see how. Look at this. Welcome to Yaoundé. Just look at that picture. I could simply not even comment on the picture. You understand what I'm talking about. That's a board showing welcome to Yaoundé. That's a road taking you into the capital of La République du Cameroon, a country that has been independent since 1960, since January 1, 1960. You can do the mathematics. We are in 2023. Do the mathematics. 2023 minus 1960. See what it gives you. That's for how long La République du Cameroon has been. 63 years. 63 years, folks. This is a country that's been independent for 63 years. See, welcome to Yaoundé. So by the time you see this, you know what to expect inside. Of course, chaos. Biting underdevelopment. And these are the people that someone says we should remain tight with. Look at the picture of Accra. Accra, that Ghana that was facing serious problems before, until we had Ghanaians all over in our country. They were shoe menders, they were hairdressers, they were running mini restaurants to survive. But get into Accra today. After Jerry Rawlings, the flight lieutenant Jerry Rawlings changed the face of that country. Get into Accra today. No comparison. Our folks who have stopped in Addis Ababa, in Ethiopia, they look at Addis, some cried. You will recall when Lapiro de Mbanga in one of his soundtracks referred to the fact that some people and said, my country people don't dress the day like a champion for Ethiopia. Oh yes, Ethiopia was a reference in poverty, in malnutrition, in underdevelopment, in everything. But go to Addis today. Look at the statistics. They tell you Ethiopia is among the 5 richest countries in Africa right now. Economically, look at it. Look at the figures. They are there, shouting for everyone to see. Our Having paired with La République du Cameroon has been a massive curse. A curse of unimaginable proportions. Look, folks, this is, there you saw welcome to Yaoundé. I want to take you to a road that's just a few kilometers out of the heart of Yaoundé, but it is still Yaoundé, because it's a little countryside in Yaoundé, a university town. This is a road leading to Soa.
Ah, c'est la route de Soie. Ganou Djoumessi est venu mentir aux gens ici là que on va finir la route en août. Eux ils se moquent même souvent de qui Dieu seul est témoin. Hein? Regardez, on est à moins de 2 km de l'université. Regardez l'état de la route. Ganou Djoumessi est venu faire son one-man show ici pour dire que la route.
So that is Soa, the road to Soa. As you can hear the commentator saying, less than 2 kilometers. That's less than a mile. Less than 1 mile away from the University of Yaoundé 2. It's not called University of the University of Yaoundé 2. At the heart of Yaoundé. Those are their routes.
La route, on va livrer la route. Quelle route? On peut livrer la route, c'est. On se moque même souvent de qui? Hein? Ganou Djoumessi doit partir. Il doit partir. On ne sait pas ce qu'il faut encore là. Il doit partir. Ah, c'est la route de Soie.
So you see, folks, they can't help themselves. They can't help us. La République du Cameroun is a curse in our land. So if you continue, if anyone continues to believe, to preach to you some rubbish thing called one and indivisible, as I heard a misguided so-called mayor in Boya open his fangs and was talking about, this is what they are offering to you. Permanent underdevelopment. Horrible dehumanization. Perpetual torture. Stinking poverty. That's all that is on offer in La République du Cameroon. Nothing more, nothing less. If they ask you which are the main cities in La République du Cameroon, the main cities, at the time when they are trying to force themselves that we are part of them, they will say Yaoundé, in that order. First, Douala, Bafoussam, Bamenda. That's what they will tell you at the time, because they're trying to force themselves into our territory. But what interests me is the part I want to talk about. So you have Yaoundé, Douala, Bafoussam. These are the three major cities in La République du Cameroon. So you should expect, therefore, that the road network linking these cities should be, state of the art. Hell no. The road I'm about to show you is the highway linking Douala to Bafoussam. Watch.
Écoutez très bien le message du chef supérieur Banga. Derrière un maçon qui boit une bière glacée à midi se cache un sac de ciment volé. Hein? Il veut pas là dire quoi? Dans la poche de tous ces ministres qui ont les voitures 4x4 se trouve l'argent qu'ils devraient utiliser pour réparer les routes.
So you see, that is the highway linking Douala, the second major city of La République du Cameroun, to Bafoussam, the third major city of La République du Cameroon. That is the road. They can't help themselves. They can't help you and I. They can't. And on this horrible state of roads, they are trying to construct ultra-modern toll gates. Listen, ultra-modern toll gates where there are no roads. Those toll gates are meant for what? To collect money. That's even when you would take 8 hours to do a journey that should, in normal circumstances, last 1 hour, 30 minutes. You are asked to pay tolls. It was thanks to John Frundi, his soul rest in peace, John Frundi of blessed memory, that the toll gate at Matazam getting from Santa into Bamenda was removed because he got there and decided to scatter it because of the nature of the roads. He said this is impossible. We can't be paying toll gates when there is no road. And he stayed so until today. Today, the people of La République du Cameroon are beginning to rise up from slumber. They are beginning to learn. You learned that La République du Cameroon was struggling to build another ultra-modern toll gate on the road linking Yaoundé to Bafoussam, specifically a place called Bayangam. And the people said, no, this is it. This, notice Madeleine Trento. This note is being sent to Madeleine Trento, who is a Minister of Scientific Research and Innovation of La République du Cameroon, by the Minister of Public Works, Nganou Djoumessi. And the content is construction du poste de péage automatique de Bayangam. That's construction of an ultra-modern automated toll gate on the road in Bayangam. Je sais, j'accuse bonne réception de votre lettre par laquelle vous avez bien voulu m'informer des protestations du chef supérieur et des élites Batoufam contre l'implantation du poste de péage automatique de Bayangam. So you listen. The people rose and they said, no way. We don't need an ultra-modern toll gate here on this road. We all know the fun of Bayangam. So that's a strong man. I said, Ma, no, you can't do that. There's no road. Begin by constructing a road. Begin by constructing a road. This is a system that specializes only in extorting from the people. And so the project was stopped. Stopped because they said, des protestations du chef supérieur et des élites, not only of the fund, but including the elites. Listen, this is fundamental. That the elite of Bayangam joined their fund to tell the government of Port Bia, no, you are not constructing an automated, ultra-modern toll gate in Batoufam because there are no roads. What do our own so-called elite do? They speak xenophobia. Somebody's knee is on the neck of the Southwest. They go and sing garinga, ringa, ringa. That's all they know how to do. They will write a protest to complain about their personal marginalization. Like some misguided ones who call themselves MP from a place they call MP, from a place they call Northwest, wrote to the President of the National Assembly that they are not giving them juicy positions at the National Assembly. They are not giving them juicy positions in other international interparliamentary groupings. They are not putting them on juicy missions. They are not. That is all they are thinking about. Themselves alone. But this is the West region. These are the elite joining their fund to say, the interests of our people are at stake. I like us to keep saying this. So we know, those of us involved in this liberation movement, that we are children who are fatherless and who are motherless. We are on our own. And when we all recognize that we are on our own, we will fight like hell, like people who know that everything depends on us. That's why harmony and synergy is essential for us. Let me hand Melamoki Charles a gift. Hey bro, take.
Sporting of Zico. The Tafo Bridge.
That side never check. Also, aha! We don't see what a probably I don't do for people. We say go there. We don't see. We the suffer put they enjoy.
As you can see, that is a corpse. Those are the remains of someone who has passed on to glory, and are struggling to carry to the person's last place of rest. No road, no bridge, and this is in the place Belamoki called Southwest. No road, no bridge. Someone's knee is definitely on the neck of Southwest in Belamoki. Look at what have you explained to me how this will happen. In which century? Just look at that. What a shame. What a shame. And now this is the same Belamoki Charles himself talking here. The same Belamoki Charles. Listen.
Look at a new road that has just been constructed. Look at it. We are in trouble here along the Mokunda Limbe Road. Just runoffs are taking away the whole tar, creating craters on the road. It is dangerous. Accidents, cars stumble on it. This is terrible. It is an indication that the job was a poor job. Poorly.
Folks, that's Belamoki Charles talking. He says it was between Mokunda and Limbe. Belamoki Charles talking. The next minute, he doesn't even know who is responsible for all the hell he and his fellow xenophobes are living through. Hear him.
Someone's knee is on the neck of Southwesterners, and this is the moment we should get out of what it is. We are being cowed to keep quiet and not to tell the truth.
I agree with Belamoki. They have been cowed completely. Yaoundé has cowed them down to the point where they can't even speak the truth again. We saw him decrying a road just now. We saw the people there with the remains of someone who was struggling on top of a rope on water to go and intern. We have seen all kinds of horrible things out there. Belamoki.
Someone's knee is on the neck of Southwesterners, and this is the moment we should get out of what it is. We are being cowed to keep quiet and not to tell the truth.
Of course. So you've been cowed over the years not to tell the truth. They rather force you to continue to preach xenophobia rather than facing the truth that we are unevenly yoked with an evil colonial entity determined to claim all our lives, determined to destroy us, determined to make life horrible for us. And as if that is not enough, one of Belamoki's other brothers comes in.
President Paul Biya is a blessing to this country. Cameroonians, we are lucky. We are made because we have Paul Biya, the helm of the state CAF. This president is our greatest marksman. He is our principal goal scorer. He has always taken us out of very difficult situations. First, because of his immense wisdom. Second, because of his aura and international clout. Those who meet President Paul Biya for the first time are out and bow in reverence, in respect for his profound knowledge. President Paul Biya is a blessing to this country.
Yeah, to be very honest. If you think left, always, how will you not think that Paul Biya is a blessing? You definitely would think like that. Poor Biya does not even exist anymore. The man does not even know where he is. Too often he can't even recall whether he is still alive. That is why, after what happened in Bankomo, claiming lives in every serious country in the world, the President of the Republic will be at the scene the very next minute or will be on national television talking. Hell no. This is the president that was at the scene. Il s'appelle Frank Biya. This guy holds no national function, nothing. He is not minister of anything. He is not director general of anything, nothing. But he is the one that is leading the administration to Bankomo, to see what is going on in Bankomo. Frank Emmanuel Biya. Some still say there's election in 2025. Folks, I said I was going to keep this biscuit right, at the tail end, so we could laugh together. I pity La République du Cameroon. Frank Biya has not even become president, but his box is full of all kinds of horrible things, from embezzling massively, without necessarily being inside the government apparatus, from depleting the forest reserves in the East region, from being a drug trafficker right in the United States, to now being the leader of a drug trafficking ring across all of Africa, involving the son of Ali Bongo. That is the person who will be the next president of La République du Cameroon. And some they dream that we have to be part of that mess one additional time. Oh no, hell no, hell no. That will not involve me though. As far as I'm concerned, that will not involve me. No, no, hell no. It will not involve me. My people of Ambazonia, this is where we have to keep fighting. And this is where we have to make our voices get louder. This is why we have to remain strong. And this is why we have to make sure we stop at nothing until La République du Cameroon is completely out of our territory. Thank you so much for being part of this broadcast. Thank you so much for sharing this moment with me. Until we meet again on this platform, have a nice evening.